Hey, everybody, it's the Coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports.
Much appreciated, Coach. Smack dab in the middle of I-295 that encircles the city of Jacksonville in northeast Florida. There's a good look at TIAA Bank Field. Tonight, we kick off Week 3 with a great Thursday night matchup between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. That's complete to his tight end, Seals Jones. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. After last week's loss, you bet this offense probably wanted to come out with a little more fire than a 3 and out.
And I'm sure that people are saying, hey, come on, Coach, what was the pregame talk? Have these guys ready to go? But you and I both know it goes into preparation and practice and being ready to go. That gives you the confidence to come out and play. They've got to find that and fast.
On the return, here's Agnew. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. They're going to look to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. The secondary, Charles, much maligned during the week. They didn't have their best game in the loss last week, but a nice play there.
Yeah, and I just know what they went through last week. I mean, ever since that time, their pride was hurt. They kept getting reminded of it in the local media, had to watch it on tape, and you know the coaches just got after them. They came in ready to play.
55, right there in the middle. 54.
Back to throw. And get that to Fournette, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Watch the curve, watch the curve.
He'll drop to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. The lightning rod, J.J. Watt with a sack.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of the game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 5 catches, 64 yards.
And they think they have a matchup advantage in this one. They're going to try and find some space for him to work and make sure he touches the football.
Now this throw caught left side. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one good for 26 and a first down.
Go! 50, plant. Go.
Here's Mostert. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
To throw on 3rd down. Levine. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. Over the middle, complete. That's Hayes. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Texans scoop it. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Rookie Seals-Jones, his first touchdown of the new season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. But what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs, and if you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you've got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some words we can't share here.
Yeah, we'll just keep this one PG.
FCC violation.
No doubt.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Hey, we got four. We got four down. Four down. Check three. Hey. Watch the twitch. Watch the twitch.
Now Leonard Fournette. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. Going deep downfield for Ross. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead it just brings up 4th down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. From the gun, Levine. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Banks. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan 1st down. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Off the bootleg. Levine. Throw left side complete. It's Banks. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. He's a 2nd-round pick, a solid 2nd-round pick. But when you're close to that 1st round, do you come in with a little chip on your shoulder?
You definitely do, because now your money's not the same. But even more than that, it's the prestige. Everyone wants to be a 1st-round pick, and he thought his talent demanded that. And I do know some teams in the league that had 1st-round grades on him.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Operating for the gun, Levine. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 38-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Mostert. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and these creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
The Texans on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, Levine. And he finds Seals-Jones complete. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Ricky Seals-Jones with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans push further out in front. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Boswell for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. John Ross and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the 2nd quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on it. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. The throw here going to be complete to Gordon. 16 yards that time on the pickup for the Jags and a 1st down.
Come on out here. Come get some. Come get some.
Fournette, a 1st down carry. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half, maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The Jaguars on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. They'll look to throw. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 34-yard line.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. He was looking for John Ross that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Back to throw here. That's complete. It's Gordon. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. The Jags with their first opportunity in the red zone. They've got a 1st and 10 from the 10. They'll try the right side here with Fournette. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
On second down, it's back. And here he'll get it down to the 7. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
I'm coming for you, son. Mike, 55. Right there in the middle, 55. Night, sweetheart.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Josh Gordon, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point attempt here still to come. They haven't fully climbed the mountain, but they've started the ascent here with that score.
I like that, right? I think they've left base camp now, okay? So they've started to move their way up the mountain. Long way to go, but at least they know it's manageable.
This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
That one, a first down pickup of 8.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. So as they take it over, we step aside. And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down.
Watch time. Pilot, 64, weak. Everyone got 4.
Operating from the gun, Levine. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Ryan Allen now as he's on to punt for Houston. He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole, because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
This quarterback now, pretty remarkable. 14 of 15 through the air, only 1 incompletion. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Telvin Smith able to record his 5th sack of the season. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Banks. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Go, 70, Indy.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Levine. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Telvin Smith in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Now it's Chris Boswell on for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. Still a little bit of time left here in the 2nd quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Time here for likely 1 play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime?
That's caught inside the 20, and he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And with the clock at all zeros, they get the touchdown to make this just a 1-score game into the lockers.
And you know what else it does? Besides boost their confidence, it doesn't change your game plan any. See, if they're down bigger going into the half, you may have to revise what you plan to do in the 2nd. But now in this spot, within 1 score and striking distance, you go ahead and keep playing and do what you've worked on all week long.
Now the try here for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. So we've hit halftime. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors. But overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. On second down, here's Fournette. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
They'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And he'll be brought down around the 7-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. Back to throw. Levine. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Telvin Smith. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. It's second and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. Off the bootleg. Levine. It's complete. Stills. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A nice job to get 11 out of that pass play, but now they face a third and goal. Trying the power game with Ham. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. C.J. Ham, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it now because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm coming back.
That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Braxton, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out come the Jags. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
53 at the mic.
Looking to throw. Able to get this to Gordon. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Fournette. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Again, it's Fournette. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Got Gordon open, completes it. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. A big one there for the Jags, 18 yards, 1st down. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They'll set up to throw. Buying time. And the ball is knocked out. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit and in this case, lose the football?
So it should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it. But I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. This is Stills on the jet sweep. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Miles Jack there to make the tackle.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
2nd and 6. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The corner blitz works to perfection for A.J. Boye. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
And he finds Stills, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take it. Back now in Jacksonville. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's second down now. A.J. Boye up to make the tackle. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On third down, Levine, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Sack, baby! Sack, baby!
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
They'll run on first down. It's back, and he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar and some discomfort down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. Second and a yard. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, and a big loss here as he's taken down. J.J. Watt, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. They'll set up a throw. Gets it to Gordon. Well, a heck of a play there on third down, but amazingly, they're still short for fourth. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it.
55. Exit. Mark 55. Mark 55.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Hayes. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. First and 10. They're going to look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. He'll be hit down at the 33. 5 yards on the play. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. This one caught by his tight end Oliver. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. They'll try to punch it in with Fournette. And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. Leonard Fournette, his second touchdown on the season, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Now, let's not forget that was all set up by the fourth down conversion earlier in the drive.
Would have been a complete letdown if the drive doesn't culminate this way, wouldn't it? If you're going to go for it on fourth down, your intention is to make sure you get a touchdown out of the drive, and that's exactly what they did. Converted, and they converted a second time for 6 points.
A 10-play drive that time, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
Well, certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now a throw here to his running back. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. This is Mostert. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, Levine. That's complete to his tight end, Seals Jones. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this fourth quarter. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. Here's Josh Gordon as he heads back out there now. Let's see here, Charles. 6 catches, over 100 yards. Call that a pretty good day at the office.
And I love the accumulation, the catches, the yardage. That means he's having a pretty good impact on this ball game and really helping his team out in a big way.
He wants the football again, right?
And it's funny because some of these receivers are very vocal about how much they're getting it. Others are quieter, but they still let you know, give me the ball, I'm going to make a play.
It's a big play for the Jaguars. 41 yards. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
2nd and 13. Open man is Ross, complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Gosh, given the time in the short game, would he have been better off just dropping that?
Yeah, when you look at the clock, you think so, but it's hard to get a receiver to drop a football. They're trained to catch everything.
They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. We've seen some big kicks in the NFL the last few years, and that one might just rank right up there.
And you know, you can hear the crowd react, right? But I was focused in on the sideline and watched them absolutely erupt. I don't know how many of them thought that he was actually going to make that kick, but how about how they felt when the ball went over the post?
Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, let's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. On second down now, Braxton. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on third down. Looking to throw. Levine, and he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down. So now it's fourth down and short, and whatever they do, run or pass it, they've got to pick up the first here.
Yeah, and you mentioned running it. That is still an option, but as you've also said, they've got to do it quickly and get back to the line of scrimmage.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They'd like to avoid overtime here, so maybe they can work the sidelines, but then defensively, how do they adjust to that if they do work the sideline?
It's the old leverage game, and we usually talk about leverage at the line of scrimmage, right? Who's going to win with the low blocking and everything that goes along with that. But in this case, you're trying as a defender to leverage them towards the middle of the field, not let them get to the sidelines and try and tackle them inbounds in order to run the clock out.
Chess match here late. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
2nd and 10. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
He'll drop to throw. He's going to rifle one. He's got a man. Complete. 30. 10. And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime. They just likely won this thing in regulation. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the fourth quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. Now for the point after. And it would appear they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And it results in a touchdown for Jacksonville. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you got to work.
It got his man complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. What a play that turns out to be, 36 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Hey, watch number 5. Go.
He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw. And this is caught inside the 5. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Kenny Stills with 3 seconds remaining as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point.
Yes, sir, that touchdown puts them in striking distance. And let me tell you something, forget being conservative here. Go for it. Go for 2.
Well, going for it on the road. Want to win it right now?
Well, win it right now. Have the momentum. Go ahead and get it done.
Extra point now by Boswell. And he has got it. So barring something crazy on the kickoff, we're looking at an extra period to decide this one. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. This is fielded at the goal line. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. And here in overtime, if the team that receives... So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day. But I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now a first throw here in overtime. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season game, especially in overtime win. That could give you a big boost going forward in the season.
It certainly can, and I don't think you're overhyping it because cliches go out the window when you start to play overtime. And you're right, the winner of this game now, that's an extra boost moving forward. And it actually is an extra hurt for the team that loses because normally you shake it off. But in this situation, it lingers a little bit longer.
Here's Ryan Allen now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Jaguars getting set to go. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. 2nd and long. That's complete. It's Gordon. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, first down. On first down. He'll drop to throw. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver. And it's second down.
You got to remember, because now that we're in overtime, mistakes get magnified. So you got to walk that line between being aggressive and being careful, because that was a dangerous throw right there. You obviously could not have an interception in this spot.
It nearly was an interception. He's lucky to get that one back.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel. You go tight. Go. You got tight. You got tight right there.
This is Fournette. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll look to throw here. Got a man. It's Ross, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, first down. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 37-yard line. Fournette. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar and some discomfort down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing today.
Now a handoff here to his running back. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. They'll be left with just one remaining here at OT.
Set, ready. 15 on it. 15 on it. Come to my world. We want it. Come to my world. Hey, switch gears. Switch gears.
And he'll give it here to his running back. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That's their second and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be stopped short of the first down right around the 18-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
And that is no good. And that changes everything here in OT. So possible disaster there. It's an empty possession, and there's no worse time to have an empty possession than the first drive of overtime.
Yeah, and remember the situation now, Brandon. It's sudden death from here on out. You can bet he's begging for a chance to redeem himself. But the question now is, will that chance ever come?
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they...
And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Talvin Smith in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. Throwing on 3rd and long. Levine. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Once that ball was popped in the air, you could almost hear the silence, the collective breath being held here in the stadium.
Let's be honest about it. We both came out of our chairs, didn't we? All right, anytime you see the ball in the air like that, there is that collective rise, the crowd holding its breath. And boy, oh boy, the moment of truth as it comes down. Man, that was something.
Everything magnified here in overtime. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored, that's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let the team just drive the ball easily down the field?
Got to be careful, though, right?
Yeah, if you're too aggressive, you just give up something easy and cheap. But some defensive coordinators, they'd rather take a stand that way as opposed to being nickel and dime down the field.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. John Ross, the one he was looking for. That'll bring up 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Mike 55, Mike 55. Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it.
Back to throw. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A gain there of 21 yards. He'll look to throw. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Go. Go.
Hey, check right, check right. Watch it, you find.
You're right, you're right, you're right.
He'll look to throw. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. So into overtime and all the way to the end of overtime, they have a chance to win it. Couldn't convert on the field goal, and we end in the very rare tie.
Don't see it very often. We did discuss it as we began overtime that because it's a regular season game, we're going to play that last quarter. And if no one scores or however, if it finishes in a tie, that's it. But boy, how bad do you feel for it? The opportunity to win it